This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
Okay, so this episode is featuring our wonderful show sponsor.
Yeah.
And it's Sarah Stone from Intentional Living magazine. And she's coming all the way from New York to talk to us today.
All the way from New York to the northwest of the UK.
Seriously, back home from where she came.
Yeah, and it's a joy to have her on. She's such an inspiration. She's such a good friend. And obviously she's a sponsor of this show. So enjoy this episode and let's get to meet and see Sarah from Intentional Living magazine.
We are so excited, aren't we? Because she's here, the pocket rocket from New York. Our wonderful sponsor, Sarah Stone from Intentional Living magazine.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Like,
Oh,
how
God.
can I not come from New York and like have a conversation with you ladies? I mean,
We're so excited.
Honoured, official sponsor of like
I know.
the podcast of
I
the
know,
moment.
seriously. I know, but we wouldn't want anyone else right now, would we? No.
So I'm glad you've joined us all the way from New York to the northwest of England to Liverpool Podcast Studios. And I'm like, did ask you to come originally a few weeks ago, but then date has just fell in and we were here and you said, I'm over.
Yeah.
Let's come in and let's get you on.
Seriously, it was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's that thing called serendipity. Is that like our first word of like things aligning at the right time? And because I think when we were first going to come, the dates just didn't
work out.
Didn't happen.
And you know what though? Since January, when you first contacted us, or since we both got brought together, since we were both
January,
brought
wasn't
together,
it?
was it
That's
January
right.
this year?
This year.
I feel like I've known you for like 6 million years, but it has just been so easy, hasn't it, Sarah? Honestly, it has been so easy. So do you want to tell our listeners and our viewers about your fabulous new birthed product that if you're listening, you won't see it, but if you're watching, you can see it behind Sarah there, Intentional Living magazine.
That's not Jules on the cover.
Oh my God, you spoil everything.
It's a body double. It's a double.
It's
double
the
though.
vibe of Jules.
I'm seriously.
Vibe of Jules.
I mean, look, I lost 4 stone then. Well, like 10 stone.
Well, the cover is intentional. That's like
Yes.
I started with that because the whole point of it is it's like I've birthed a baby.
Yeah.
Because it has been probably 5 years in the making. Because not always from New York, as you can probably tell, the non-Brooklyn accent, a good old Northern Preston accent. But around about 5 years ago, we had the opportunity to move over to the US, and as much as it sounds like Sex and the City, that it's going to be like bright lights and like you can make it anywhere and all this, it was a massive life bomb that went off at the same time of thinking that, you know, you're going to get there, all's going to be easy, not realizing you get there, there's zero credit, you can't buy a house because everything starts from zero. And it was just a massive shock to the system. And I was also about to turn 40. So that was a life-changing bit as well. And coupled in with that was the good old menopause as well.
Don't we just love all of that? Like, seriously.
So all in. It was all in.
A shitstorm.
So that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. But now it's a case of to like fast forward to now, it's like, thank goodness all of that happened.
What
thank
growth.
goodness of like those changes that come in that allow you to go through that shitstorm, to rebuild it, to create space, to do all of the things that you need to do and to let go of all the things that were no longer serving. And whether that was a business, whether that was relationships, whether that was like family ties as well, that you'd always sort of like drop and run to if someone like a good couple of thousand miles were put in between there, and it made me kind of have to recollect thoughts on everything. And I decided to train, and I trained with Marie Diamond, and I trained feng shui from a feng shui master. I was like, this is good. This is very American. I'll be able to go into everybody's
So
homes.
did you not do that until you went to America?
No.
Oh, I thought you did that over here. That's amazing.
No, this was like a real kind of. I came back because I was pretty much having a little bit of a breakdown, and my husband said to me, "You've lost your sparkle. You've lost your zest for life. You need to go and sort yourself out. And if that means you going back for a few weeks to the UK to get yourself sorted, then you do that." And that's what I did. And I was doing a photo shoot, and Marie Diamond was there. She was talking about energy. But she was talking about energy from like your home perspective. Now, because I've come from this, like I did Female Success Network, where we help women start out in business or start over in business. So we were always talking about pursuit of success. And then what happened is when you have that life storm happen, you realize that it's not necessarily just about success. It's about your health. It's about your well-being. It's about your relationships. It's about all of the other life things that come in. And this massive light bulb went off. I was like, that's my next step. I need to embrace energy. I need to like kind of like tune in to what that means. And it gave a strategy behind everything. And I was like, that's the evolution of like success is your energy and focusing your energy on the right things. And so I created my own modality, which was called Creative Feng Shui. And it was like, what is that?
Which we've had a taste of, haven't we?
We have.
So can you tell us, go into detail for our listeners, because obviously not everyone knows what Feng Shui is, and especially your modality, Creative Feng Shui. So go into detail for our listeners about what that is and how you've brought that in to your life and your business.
Okay, so like the traditional method of it is that you, in easy terms, without getting all like a Chinese tat shop.
Tell us in simple terms.
Break it down, Sarah, break it down.
So give yourself a magic map. And if you got yourself an A4 piece of paper now, and you drew out a tic-tac-toe grid or noughts and crosses, like a line, and you came up with 9 boxes on there. And it gives you an energetic grid for 9 areas of your life. And it can be wealth and abundance, it can be fame and reputation, personal and professional relationships, and so on. And I'll go through all of the other areas.
So they're the foundations of well-being, right?
Exactly. So if you've done coaching or if you've done self-development, you might have heard of the life circle or like the life areas.
The self-care wheel or whatever. Ours is the gears of life.
Exactly. It's absolutely that. So it's these key areas. And then what it is that everything is energy. Like everything is a vibration. Like we know it's talked about so much now. And what this magic map does, it allows you to focus your energy on one of these 9 areas. And part of that is that you can have a soul vision for what that looks like and what you want to focus on. Is it your personal and professional relationships, or is it your health and well-being? It gives you that pulse check, and it allows you to realize what that is. It allows you to focus on it, and it allows you to set your home up to support you doing that as well. Because the best example, if you've ever walked into a home when there's a row that's just happened, you can feel that energy without a doubt. And you can feel if you feel attracted to somebody, whether you feel like soulmates or whether you feel like, I want to be in your company because like we're just vibing. Like it's listening to that and trusting it and focusing your energy on it. And so it evolved from like, I don't like to say the word vision board because I don't think that does it justice, because I'm very much about intentional action. I'm on about a soul vision, like what lights you up.
And I heard you say that a couple of minutes ago, soul vision. What's that? Because that sounds beautiful.
I remember doing this with Sarah when she ran
in
through
January. Because we've got the board that, and the noughts and crosses and the 9 grid, and that's in my bedroom, and I've changed the energy in my house and where I do my work based on what you taught us. And the moving of the 27 things on the 27th of the month.
That's a
tomorrow.
Tricky one. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. It is, but it can be as easy as you want. But to give you context on what this soul vision is, it started out as
soul glow.
It's because it's in here. And if you can't see us right now, it's both hands on your heart of like what makes you feel warm and fuzzy, what gives you that all over shin bumps. You know, it's not just the goops bumps, it's the whole over feel of purpose and why are you doing this damn thing of that. And it's not about a picture of a Range Rover on a board. It's not about all of the superficial things. It's the feeling of living what that will bring you, what will that bring your relationships or whatever you want to focus on right now. So with that can be like walking along a beach. It can be having a dog. It can be having a chateau in France. Whatever lights you up, it's like, it's what you always would dream about. If you could give yourself like a mind movie that you sat down, you closed your eyes and like the curtain unveiled and you could watch your life map out exactly how you wanted it.
I've just had a vision.
There's the vision.
I'm sat with a roast dinner on a catamaran. I love, what about you?
Mine went to sitting looking out on from a mountain to fields with the dogs.
Beautiful.
No people, just the dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that actually might come in with your human design as well, because we
and her
think
psychic abilities.
There you go. So that's what then that does, is that based on your date of birth, pretty much like what you would do with human design, we all have an energy and we all have a vibration and we all have this feeling connected to something, and that's what that soul vision does. And the magic map gives you a kind of direction to focus in those areas. So that's how this all started to unfold. And then I was trying to break it down into an easy to explain to an American that you have to get to the point really quickly, because a New Yorker is like, get to it, like quick.
Cut the noise.
Yeah, so the whole thing. So I wrote a book on this.
Yes.
Got that.
I've done the whole, it's called Live What You Love, and it gives you tips of what to do and how to set up this intentional vision board and how to, what to do, all those things. And I was thinking, how can I make this simplified of what it is?
It is. I think so, because it's almost like the guidebook, isn't it?
Yep. And that's all I wanted it to be. But then when I started to do the networking, because COVID hit, obviously we all got locked down. And then from there, I was like, I want to get out and about. Like, people need this in their life to turn that negative atmosphere and environment.
And energy.
Put a positive spin on it. I need to educate. I need to see people. And so I was trying to explain it to people, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. We had some great conversations with people. And what I was finding is that lots of people that I was speaking to didn't sort of like know what it was. But then when I started to talk about energy and living with intention, they didn't get the concept of it, of like they didn't realize that there was modalities out there that you could use, like whether it be sound healing, whether it be human design, whether it be Reiki, all these things. I was like, goodness me, it's like we know what we know because we're immersed in that world.
Yeah, but there's so many people
that need us doing our things,
and they don't know if they don't know. And so
that's why we started this
like we're here
podcast was to educate people.
And empower. Yeah, which is exactly what you're doing with
this. Is
that.
Where it goes. So
hence why
we're together.
Hence why our energies collided.
They
didn't collide. They merged.
They and also seeked as well, because I think you always attracted of what that was, because that's where it came from, was having these conversations with these women that I was speaking to, that they would only either be taking medication, or they'd be going to see a therapist, that they would just lie on a couch and just vent on a clock watch, where they're not really kind of doing anything. And in the book, I wrote about this vision that I'd had about us being able to like self-scan our bodies to tune in to what we need internally and externally to support us, and we can self-subscribe or prescribe ourselves what's needed in that way. And so this was this thing, like, again, light bulb moment of thinking, I know women around the world that are experts in their field of who can help educate, who can help share their circumstances of things like fibromyalgia, of things like of these things that are holding us back from truly living our lives. And so I was like, this needs to go one step further now. This is not just creative feng shui. This is intentional living. And so this was from there, was like, how can I bring together experts from around the world to educate on well-being, on lifestyle, of living with purpose and doing something about it, like really taking action on what you desire. And so that was why we then connected, and because I saw the work that you were both doing, which I'm in awe of. Like that's not just saying that, but that's the ethos of the magazine, is that it's intentional with hand-picked partners, contributors, columnists, information, wisdom, articles, stories, all of the things. It's not just of like what's a hot whim right now, or who's the hottest ticket in town. This
and who's
is
spending more money. See, I think that's what I loved about it. It wasn't about who can afford to do it. Do you know what to me? It was almost about what impact is it bringing? And that we felt like, that's for us.
And I think what the core element of everything of this is a desire to have wholesome media, like to not just follow trends of just doing what everybody else is doing. Because if I was trying to do that, it wouldn't have even got off the ground in the first place. Like, everybody's gone one place, so I've gone the other way. Everybody wants one way of doing it. I want to do it the other way. And I think that's the key to its success so far, of doing it, of being that bridge of wholesome content with wholesome people that get it.
And I remember you saying that to us when we were having these conversations about, and the word wholesome coming in. I say, that's exactly what it is. Wholesome.
It is
trusted.
As well. And it's not busy out there,
heartfelt, is it? Nice. It's like that nice feeling of,
it's not a quick
beautiful
win.
people and energy and great wisdom.
It is, and that's on the other side of the shitstorm. Is so much wisdom. And you've brought that into this beautiful magazine, and it's an online platform as well.
And that online platform is pretty much taking over as well from the printed. So this is like a kind of learning. I always say there's a learning, a lesson, and a blessing in everything that you do, whether it's a shitty season or whether you're riding the high wave of everything going your way. Like, there's always a balance of all of that. Exactly. It's like right, and that's the flow. That's the creative feng shui of getting in the flow of life, of accepting if that we need those hibernation seasons. We need that shitstorm to allow us to actually come through and wear the war wound of like, actually, I'm not going to go down that route next time. And I think that's been some of the lessons that I've had of like having conversations with people. One of the first people I said about trying to do the magazine was, they said, that's very ambitious. I was like, yes, it is. And then there was somebody else that was going to be one of the publishers, and it was like, well, just need to let you know that the industry right now, if you go into Tesco's or Sainsbury's, you'll see that the magazine racks have gone from like this, like to a full row to a quarter. And I was like, do you know what? That's great. That's exactly what I want, because I want this to be, I want to be exclusive, but I want it to be inclusive. I want it to be quality over quantity. So for me, that's music to my ears. Thank you very much, the driver. And I think that's like a lesson in a way of like, sometimes take that negative spin that someone's giving you and actually seeing that gap in the market to keep going and to keep trying it. And there's been a number of hurdles that have happened, and you've been part of a number of those hurdles that have gone on. But when you know it's the right thing, and you've had your universal initiation where they're saying, do you want this? Do you really want this?
You're absolutely right. And it's not, and I think when people say you can't, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about, for us, it's always been about staying in our lane, because there is a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people that are really quick to put people down. And actually, you just have to put blinkers on and just, you've got a belief, you've got a passion, you've got a desire to make things happen, and you'll make it happen. But to do that, you have to be head down and go and block out the noise.
Totally. Totally.
And for stated that whole thing, we've just been talking about that previously, staying in your own lane. And with the knocks, you get back up again. I mean, I went to see Arnie last night, didn't I, in the Royal Albert Hall, and part of his thing was every time you fall down, just get back up, dust yourself off. What's the lesson? What's the
blessing?
Yeah.
And
did you train him
to keep?
Subconsciously, yes, he's there. It's like,
it's all of the stuff that we hear all of the time in the personal development world. It's about, and for me, obviously, the human design and the energy piece is about checking in with your energy to make sure that you're not forcing something that you don't want, which is the shoulds, and that every single thing that we do is space and freedom and on Can We Just, and with intentional living, Mag, it's all intentional, and it's coming from a place of passion and purpose, and that we want to help change the world of intentional living and well-being.
Yes.
And we're in control of it, right?
We are. And also something that I've listened to or read, there's so many things that you absorb on a daily basis, but so I always take a takeaway from what we're listening to and doing, and fears come up as well. And I think it might have been part of my human design reading, that I feel like there's been something that's come up that actually sometimes fear can be a really great driver.
The way to face your fears is just to go anyway. Is movement. So just do it. And that's the best advice, isn't it? Because if you're frightened, I always ask, what's the worst that could happen? Crack on.
And it's leaning into that now and knowing that actually you're always going to get fear in everything that you do. And it can either stop you and you stay where you are, or you can lean in, or you can take that leap of faith of just thinking, well, what's the worst that can happen?
What's that quote?
And the ways you
darling, what's if I fall? And they say, well, darling, what's if you fly?
Yeah. And I think that's testament to where we are now with the online platform and the magazine, is that there's been so many opportunities for me to just say, do you know what? I've had a go. I'll just
leave it.
But you were directed to better things all the time.
When
we came to New York, when was that?
June.
It's a good job she's got. It's a good job you've got that
a very
sort of brain.
good
So when we came to New York, we came to the launch, and we didn't even have the magazine, did we?
No, that was the thing.
Again, another curveball, but we owned it.
We totally owned it. But then it led to better conversations, and it also came to better boundaries as well of what's acceptable and what's not, and also that kind of having really difficult conversations of firing a publisher, of saying this is never going to happen again. I will not accept this. This is not good enough for what we want to achieve going forward. That's little meek and mild me, Sarah from Preston.
Sarah the pocket rocket. She's not meek and mild. She's a little firecracker with what's it called?
Well,
confidence curls.
Yeah, confidence curls are in. But it's that. So that's so my maiden name is Lion. So I come from So that's don't mess, because I get fierce. If I love somebody, I love hard. If I believe in something, I'm behind it.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, when it's like that, and I'm just relentless on making it happen, type of thing, and standing up for other people, and also the vision. Because with my human design and with I know that I'm this visionary, that I can see pretty much 4 or 5 years into the future, and everything kind of unfolds and unravels from there.
You're a projector, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. So you can see it all.
Yeah, and it's sort of everything else needs to catch up. So I know the quality. I know that the quality was in there. I know that the people that now that I've got people like yourselves involved, I'm like, this is for us. This is for us to link arms together on a global scale to share the wisdom, to share the knowledge, to share like even Jules with your, with your papers that you're doing with the fibromyalgia side of things, like that needs to be far and wide. And I think now that the world is online, it becomes a smaller place. It's like there's people in America that need this, and they love you. You've already had conversations with people like Daphne from being able to have this, and then it opens up different communities. So you're not fishing in the same pond as everybody else, and you're not just being part of a clique or anything. It's like it's a really big world out there, and there's amazing people, and there's also people that haven't found us yet. So actually, how can we get that out?
Exactly.
It's like
and we're glad that that we found each other, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
She's a corker. And so tell us then what's coming up for Intentional Living magazine. What's coming up for Sarah?
Oh, so everything's expanding like really quickly now. It's kind of like how all the seeds have been planted.
The compound effect.
Yeah, that all the like hair tied back, pull your sleeves up, get down and dirty and do that hard work has been done, but it will continue to be done. And it's at the stage now where we're getting some really great brand partnerships. So really thrilled. Just last week we've partnered with Virgin Experience Gifts.
Whoa.
So they're going to be as part of the magazine, and they're going to be part of the online platform. And so they're
Congratulations.
and it's just it feels like we've been seen. It feels like being seen, being heard, and also being valued. So from there's other brand partnerships that are coming on board. There's some great interviews that are lined up as well, and going to be looking to get more contributors, like contributing on an international scale and evolving what all this looks like for us, as well as building a bit of a community of interviews and having you interview people as well, and just work really closely and see where it goes.
So if anyone's listening, how can they get involved?
Well, they can have a look on either the website, so that's intentionallivingmagazine.com. We do a lot of tips and interviews over on our Instagram page, so I'm sure you can find those in the
Instagram
links.
page. It's so classy.
Just like her.
It's so classy.
Well, that's why we fit in so well with the magazine corner in the chair.
But it's beautiful.
Classy. Look at me on the magazine.
And you've got your Facebook group.
So
Facebook
that's
page.
going to be next now. So we're just in the process of adding, and it's a bit of a first because I haven't seen this done anywhere else. I'm putting this out there now.
Go on.
Audio articles.
Oh,
so it's a fully...
Just explain what that is.
Yeah.
An audio article.
Like then something off a Carry On film.
It's like Deirdre Barlow.
Matron. Tell us about that then, Queen.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be like click on the website, read an article. This is going to be like visit the online platform and be introduced to what's being talked about by the columnist or the contributor that talks and guides them through everything that's being said, like being shared. Because I want it to be this immersive experience that you see it, you hear it, you feel it. So then when they read the article, it's like you are literally speaking their language to them. So that's like being developed now. That's out in the next few weeks.
Wow.
And then there's going to be a year-long round gift guide of like if you're looking for gifts, then you can go on there and support local businesses and female founders. That's going to be US based and UK based as well. So if you're ever in search for birthday gifts, any kind of gifts, you'll be able to go on there and search that. And then more or less every week I'm going to be sharing like a kind of like recipe to try out and just do some also cocktail recipe. Get a bit of...
You love a drink, don't you,
Yeah.
Give some.
You love it, don't you? Did you have one last night, Claire?
I did.
Did it give you brain fog last night?
Yeah, I was in London last night. I was a little bit off the glitzy bit with
She
Arnie.
went to the glitzer town.
So yeah, that's water all day today and a bit of tea. But just going back to, you've just mentioned where people can find you, and just to let everyone know that it will be in the show notes as well. So all of your links, we'll get them in there. So anybody that wants to follow Intentional Living, if you're looking to change your life, if you're looking, obviously you've got us in the podcast, but honestly, it's a beautiful array of clever, wise people.
Beautiful.
Beautiful
and
as well.
And your articles are on there.
Yes,
as well.
we're there.
There's going to be more from you guys.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
We're article writers. What are they called? Contributors.
You're a columnist.
I'm a columnist.
You're a columnist.
Yeah, I know.
An award-winning columnist.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm fuming. Seriously, like literally.
I'll nominate you for an award.
Are you going to give us the goss on that?
We can't yet, can we? It's all in the vault.
In the vault.
It's in the vault.
Exciting news to come.
So let's think, is there going to be an Intentional Living magazine live event somewhere that we can literally pack a bag to come to?
We are.
Because we do like to
we do love to travel.
Yeah, we are. I think so. What's happening is because we're getting some very talented people coming on board.
Yeah.
There's a point where we need to come together. But also, I think what's in the pipeline for 2024 is intentional events where we're going to be doing, whether it be a retreat where we can have experiences of having more, but in person stuff. Because we thrive off that. So watch this space.
Oh, we'll talk to you about what we've got in the pipeline as well then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will do.
That's cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you from travelling all this way across the pond. Back home, to be honest.
Well, it is. It feels like home, but it's. I wouldn't change it for anything. And it was the top priority because I think now we're in that place where we get to support each other, and it's an absolute honour. I feel so honoured that you've had me here and that you're part of it as well. Because I think I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because you saw that vision that we had back in January, and you've trusted that vision, and you're coming on this ride with us. And I just want to say thank you for seeing and believing what that is and what that is. It's just it means the absolute world, and I just want to know that I love you guys to pieces.
And we love you too.
We love you as well.
Thank you.
Look at that cheese on toast.
I know. We just
love
love a bit of cheese. A bit of love. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
Appreciate you.
We've loved having you here.
Love it. Love you.